Hey there, Bikeaholics. Lurch and I here fresh off the back of Harley-Davidson releasing a bunch of their new 2025 stuff. We had a soft launch, with some of the touring stuff. But today, which is January 23rd, we had the launch of some of the cruiser stuff, some CVO stuff. Anyways, in this video, as always here, we're going to break it down and tell you exactly what you actually need to know without all the fluff. And quite honestly, this year was a bit different for Harley. We even have contacts and media contacts and things, and it was really weird leading up to it because we didn't get emails. There wasn't an actual launch video. Instead, there's a bunch of peppered videos over their YouTube channel. Again, like usual, corporate, a lot of music, no information. Anyways, we've really dug through this stuff for you guys, and we're going to tell you what you need to know. So let's dive in. Welcome back, Bikeaholics. Ryan Urlacher here, and Lurch, we both thank you for checking back in.
You got to pay attention. The boss is going to get mad at me.
So we're going to dig in here to what's new and what you need to know. And quite honestly, I'm a little bit glad it's over because it's getting a little old seeing all the leaked information, articles, and videos over and over. So we can finally be done with it for the year and we can move forward. So Lurch, what is new overall? And then we can go and dive in and kind of break stuff down. What do you think?
Absolutely. So the biggest change is in the cruiser models. There's 6 of them that got updated, and we'll get into what the updates were, but that is the Lowrider S, the Lowrider ST, the Breakout, the Heritage Classic, the Fat Boy, and the Street Bob, all getting refreshed. And actual new models, there's 2 of them. The new model is the Street Glide Ultra and the Pan America 1250 ST.
Did you hear that? Street Glide Ultra. We'll be diving into that in a minute, so hang tight for that. And so a bit more great news for the cruiser lineup this year is that they're all getting the ride modes across the board. Now, us with touring models have seen that for a few years. Rain, sport, road modes, they will all get it, and that's an awesome thing in my opinion. So interesting, Lurch, we got 3 new Milwaukee-Eight 117 powertrains. We're going to break that down for you a little bit. We're not going to do a lot of reading in this video, but there's some pretty significant information in here, so we're going to try to give you all the details on this. And the 2025 cruiser models will be powered by one of 3 new Milwaukee-Eight 117 powertrain variants with new cylinder heads, throttle body, and intake manifold. So each of these 3 powertrains are tuned. The motor's tuned through difference in intake and exhaust scheme and ride mode programming to offer performance that matches the personality of a specific cruiser model and the anticipated expectation of that model's customer. So they're really dialing things in for each individual bike to make them different. So new 4-valve cylinder heads feature the combustion chamber shape, oval intake ports, and low-profile intake valve seats as introduced on the 2023-24 Milwaukee-Eight 117, 121 engines. For Grand American Touring and CVO models, these heads are designed to improve performance and fuel economy. So Lurch, you want to take over from here?
Yeah.
I am parched and I need a drink.
So new for these motors, the engine oil is routed from a frame-mounted oil cooler through cylinder head cooling passages. This cylinder head cooling system further optimizes thermal comfort for the rider, especially in low-speed riding situations and hot weather. This air and oil-cooled version of the Milwaukee-Eight 117 engine weighs less than the Grand American Touring and CVO versions of the engine and does not require coolant for system maintenance.
Carry on.
I shall. Contoured aluminum intake manifold offers a more direct air path and creates a smooth transition from the round throttle body to the new oval intake ports to enhance intake airflow for improved power and reduced exhaust emissions. Also new is improved sound quality, as muffler and intakes have been designed to enhance sound quality and match the character of each engine variant. Mufflers feature advanced lightweight materials that work to trim high frequencies and emphasize low frequencies for a powerful sound. The dual counterbalancers are tuned to eliminate primary vibration at idle while permitting some engine character to shine through at speed. So you get that little bit of vibration that Harley riders are used to. The V-twin design with 45-degree cylinder angle maintains classic Harley-Davidson look, sound, and feel. Compression is 10.3 to 1, which enhances torque at lower RPM and improves fuel economy.
Okay, that's about all the main reading we're going to do. We thought it was important to cover that because there are some significant changes. So the details, diving into that a little bit more of these three engines. The Milwaukee-Eight 117 Classic, and that's going to be coming on the Street Bob and Heritage Classic. And then you have the Milwaukee-Eight 117 Custom, which will be coming on the Fat Boy and the Breakout. And finally, we have the Milwaukee-Eight 117 High Output, reserved for the Lowrider S and the Lowrider ST. And I'm actually pretty excited about this next thing because I've kind of complained that this should have came on the cruiser lineup a long time ago because we've had it on the touring for quite a few years now.
All of them, all 6 of those are going to come with the rider safety enhancements. And those are straight line, corner, anti-lock braking, straight line, corner, and cornering traction control system, straight line and cornering drag, torque, slip control, and tire pressure monitoring.
Just awesome. Glad to see Harley stepping up the game there and putting that on the lineup. All right, just a few other things to breeze over here. New front and rear suspension, retuned for optimal performance and to provide improvement in both rider and comfort control. And we have new hand controls, control clusters, new buttons. Not exactly like the touring models we saw in 24, but definitely different and alike in a lot of ways. We have the new button up here where we can flash the headlights and things like that. And a new adjustable brake lever. And LED lighting all the way around. Stock Lurch.
It's about time, Harley.
And all the bikes come now with USB-C interface. You know, the newest, the latest data transfer stuff for like an iPhone 16 Pro Max, things like that. The port location is at the front left side of the motorcycle beneath the fuel tank. And new heated gear connectors, guys, for the cruiser lineup again, which is what we're talking about. Been relocated on all models from behind the side panel to the top of the rear fender below the seat where they are much easier to access. And all models have 2 of them now. All right, so we're going to really run down the cruiser lineup. We're not going to talk about every spec and all that. The website at the time of this video is pretty laggy, so jumping between 24 and 25 prices is a little bit cumbersome. We'll do the best we can. But we've told you the major things, but we at least want to breeze over this. So obviously we'll start with the Street Bob, great looking bike, rubber boots up there, bobbed fender. Only coming in chrome trim for this guy, no black trim. And then it looks like you've got 5 colors to choose from. And of course, your base model here is the gray there. And then, you know, as you move up in colors, you are going to pay more. All right, so we're going to dive into the Lowrider ST. And this was one of the bikes. There was like, you know, 3,000 videos of some leak and very insignificant changes even with a leak. But anyways, we're looking at it here, and I do not believe that there was a chrome version, trim version last year. And so anyways, looking at it, you can get it in chrome trim. I appreciate that, Harley, very much, because we've seen the lack of chrome availability in the past. And a lot of us, as you see 2 guys sitting here, are traditional chrome guys. Black just kind of got out of control. In my opinion, there's too many of them. I own one black trim bike, by the way, besides my Street Glide. But I am glad to see that. The one thing I'm disappointed in, and I was disappointed this with the touring when they did the soft launch earlier, is that you know, with the chrome, you get less colors. So looking at the chrome here, you get 3 colors. And when you go black trim, you do pay also $1,100 for that black paint because it's special black paint. And you get 5 colors. To include the Midnight Firestorm, which is amazing, an amazing color. And we did a video on this channel. I'll link to it in the description below just a couple of weeks ago. We went down to the local dealership. They got a Street Glide in. It had the Midnight Firestorm Ghost Flame, you know, set up, so to speak. Really cool. I give you some really good shots of that video. So if you're interested in that color, it's worth a look. It also cost you $1,900 for that. And it looks like, you know, one of the complaints when I went down originally years ago and test rode and reviewed the Lowrider ST, you know, was that one of the bags was different size, right?
Yeah, the right side bag was not as deep. It was because it had to accommodate for a dual exhaust. So if you're looking at the bike from the rear,
exhaust, right?
Yeah, both on the right side, dual exhaust on the right side. And if you looked at the bike from the rear, it had a smaller bag on the right side to accommodate that exhaust. Now looking at this picture, they've gone into 2-to-1. Both those bags are the same size, and now it just aesthetically looks so much better.
Yeah, I agree. And the reason they were able to do that is because now you just have 2-into-1 out the right side. So that's one of the biggest changes on there.
That thing is going to rip with that 117 high output. So the high output profile is meant to run at those higher RPMs. That thing's going to be a screamer.
And looking at it, yep, still mid controls coming on this bad boy. But a fun bike, nonetheless. They have done some upgrades. We read on the display there, you can see here, part analog, part digital. Those have been upgraded too. And we have a community here, and we're always interested in what you think. So on my point of Harley, not only not offering chrome on some bikes, thank God they are on the ST, but also the lack of paint options, just because you choose chrome, and also the black trim costing $1,900. So anyways, we're just curious about your thoughts. I look forward to reading them. Comment below. Looking quickly at the Lowrider S, not a ton of changes. $2,499 coming in this year. Billiard gray, your base color, of course. Only coming in black trim. Like I mentioned, not all the bikes are coming in chrome. And newly designed taillight. And when we mentioned earlier, remember you have the 3 different 117 setups and powertrains. This one's going to get your high output version of that. So obviously we know the Lowrider S is an absolute ripper. I've got right over here out of frame my 2016 Dyna Lowrider S before Dyna went away. All right, we got to talk about the breakout. It looks like it's only coming in chrome, so that might actually make some of the black trim people a little angry there. So kind of switching back and forth between what's available here. It did get a redesigned headlight in 24, had more of an oval. Now the headlight is round. Of course, the beautiful stacked exhaust coming out the right side. Chrome and 6 different colors. This is coming with that 117, of course, like all the Cruiser, but this one's going to be the custom version of that motor. And of course, looking at the Fat Boy here, an absolute classic. 4 different colors, only coming in chrome trim. And it has got the, which motor?
The 117 Custom.
Custom version of the 117.
Correct.
And starting at $22,599. So diving into the Heritage Classic, interestingly, it says black trim only, but it's a little bit different than the rest because, as you can see, it's kind of a mix of black trim, but then we have chrome heads there, or valve covers, and chrome there. So yeah, pretty good looking. And we got single exhaust coming out the right side, and it looks like 5 new colors to choose from. And which version of the 117 is this?
It's going to be the Classic.
And you still got 2 more in the Cruiser lineup that are just kind of carryovers, the Hydra Glide Revival and the Soft Tail Standard. And jumping back to the Lowrider ST, their site's just tanked right now, but we did take some screenshots earlier, so I hope it was correct. From my research, it was $24,199 in 2025 for the Lowrider ST. I think that was only like a couple $100 price bump.
It's not bad.
From 24, and you got the new 117, so I think that's pretty reasonable. All right, now we're going to jump into the Grand American Touring lineup. And before we do that, just make sure you hit that subscribe button and bell icon every time those are hit. Another biker joins the revolution. We'd love to have you be part of it. Now, I already did a video on the soft launch. We had a lot of the touring lineup carryover stuff released with very few minor changes. So make sure you check that video out. I'll pop a card on the screen. I'll link to it in the description below. Lurch, why don't you dive into this one and some of the new stuff?
A couple of new things. One is finally over-the-air software updates for the IFCU, so you won't need to download your software on a drive and plug it in. You can just hook it up to your internet and download it right to your bike.
My actual biggest question, Lurch, will be, it's going on the 25s. To my knowledge, the IFCU is the exact same unit. So I'm really hoping that they will be able to do a firmware update for all of us that bought the IFCU in 24. And we too will now have the ability to just update it over Wi-Fi. I just, at the time of this video, don't have any information on that.
That would be nice. In addition to that, a few other things we learned. During the soft launch, they released some of the models, Street Glide, Road Glide, etc., but they didn't release any of the CVO stuff. We did learn that there is a CVO model of the Street Glide and the Road Glide, and then there's going to be there is the Road Glide CVO ST. And an all-new model, the Street Glide Ultra. Oh, Jesus!
I don't even know what I did. I just felt like doing that. Did that
hurt?
Did that hurt you?
It hurt.
I should have thought that through before I did it.
Maybe turn away a little bit. Right in my ear hole.
Tell me about this Street Glide Ultra. Let me start by saying this. We had a lot of different predictions on the last video, and we did a podcast. If you haven't listened to the Law Abiding Biker podcast, you need to get in there because we get to talk about stuff in a lot more depth. It's fair to say that the Ultra Limited is no longer.
At this point.
We
don't know.
Right.
Harley has been doing mid-year releases. We don't know. There is no Road Glide Ultra. There's just a Street Glide Ultra at this point.
But there's a Road Glide Limited,
in the
which
old
is your
body
full,
style.
with the old, yeah,
Right. So this new Street Glide Ultra is the new Batwing fairing, right? So the 23.5 or 24 is what the new redesigned fairing, and it's a Ultra version of that. But if you look at the Road Glide, the full touring one, it's the old body style, the old fairing design.
So the Road Glide Limited with the older fairing design poses some questions. And it's interesting because Lurch is in the market for a new Harley Touring. He's currently on a 15 Road Glide. And so it begs the question, he wasn't sure whether to go full Touring this year or if he was just going to get another Road Glide. And then the second question to that is, do you go 24? Do you go 25? I know you have some thoughts on this.
Yeah, I was considering, because I do have a 2015 Road Glide, and I have it set up like your bike behind us. I've got a touring, detachable touring pack on it. It's very set up for touring. It doesn't have the lowers, but other than that, it's basically a limited / ultra. I put that detachable trunk on. I thought I'd take it off all the time. I haven't. So my thought is maybe I would go with a Road Glide Ultra, Road Glide Limited, whatever you want to call it, in 2025 if it had the new fairing design. It doesn't. They still got the old one. So now I'm perplexed. Do I just get a Road Glide and put the detachable stuff on it? Probably.
So we're looking at on my screen here the Street Glide Ultra. Basically it's a hopped up Street Glide, right? So it's not an Ultra Limited, and the reason being is you get a trunk, and from what we can tell, that is not a detachable trunk. That's a hard mount trunk, just the way it's designed and what we're used to. Could be wrong, but that's what it looks like. And then you've got completely redesigned lowers. Of course, we have that 117, like on my Street Glide. You got the radiator down here, water-cooled heads. Well, they've redesigned this fairing, lower fairings, I should say, and it really wraps around the radiator. And so it's a different look. I'm curious about your guys' thoughts on that redesign. Lurch, first opinion was he didn't like it.
And I may change my mind when I see it in person. This is just a picture on the internet. You don't really get a true understanding until you see it in person.
It's different. That's all I'll say at this point. And so you're getting the trunk and you're getting lowers. You're getting a taller windshield.
Taller windshield. You're also getting some crash protection for the saddlebag guards.
Oh, yeah. And what we're missing that you would get on an Ultra is speakers up here. It looks like there's 2 storage compartments, one on each side, and you're not getting the speakers in the back for the passenger. Not quite as much wraparound there. So it's kind of
lighting. It's also missing some lighting too. Usually
yes.
On the limiteds and the ultras, you've got some lighting on the trunk, which you don't have on this one.
We still don't know if they're going to completely tank the Ultra lineup, and now you're just going to have Road Glide, and you're going to piecemeal. You'll get a basic kit, and then you can kind of piecemeal, of course, upgrade speakers, things like that. So it'll be interesting to see. With that said,
and this also does come. Sorry to interrupt you, but this also does come with heated grips.
Black trim or chrome trim. Happy about that. $13.50 if you want black, because again, it's special paint. And we've got billiard gray, and we've got 6 different colors in black trim and 4 colors. Again, us poor chrome guys getting jacked on the colors. So I am very curious to hear what you guys think about the all-new Street Glide Ultra. Have to get used to saying that. Comment below. All right, let's discuss the 25 CVO models. Let's start with the Street Glide. We're going to breeze through this. It's got all the bells and whistles. It's a CVO. Enough said. You've got scorched chrome trim or chrome. So different look. You'll definitely want to check that out. You can see it on my screen here, and it looks like you have 1 color chrome, 2 colors to choose from for scorched chrome. Let's look at those colors real quick. So there's the Raven Fade. That's cool looking.
It's not bad looking at all.
That is not bad looking. And then you've got the Poison Berry. If you're a purple guy, I can't say I'm a huge fan of purple, but they did a good job on that. And there is your blue streak for the chrome, and I definitely like that. $45,999.
Almost giving them away.
To get yourself into a CVO. Jumping over to the CVO Road Glide, and same price it looks like, and it is coming. We'll just take a quick look at it. Sexy though. It's funny how colors look different on the different shark nose or batwing, the way they do the schemes. That is sexy. That's the blue streak, $5,000. They're scorched chrome or just regular chrome, it looks like. So.
And it looks like the same colors.
Yeah, it looks like the same colors, yeah. And bumping down to the CVO Road Glide ST. Awesome looking bike. And it looks like it's just coming in black trim, very race inspired, king of the baggers. I got to go down to Las Vegas Motor Speedway last year and test ride and review this bad boy. You got Mercury Silver, red, and Hot Lap for $5,000. That is cool, man.
It's different with the color patches, the way the square patches they have on there.
That is really cool.
And all those have some of the carbon fiber stuff like the fender and the single seat cowl back there. Yeah, very race inspired, good looking bike.
Yep. Very cool. And then this is coming with the different motor, right?
Yeah, that's got the 121, but it's the non-VVT. The other CVOs have the VVT motor. This is non-VVT, and it's a high output. So they do that so you can put cams and that kind of stuff, and they really tune it.
You can tune them a lot better.
Lot
VVT,
easier.
Variable valve timing, if you're not familiar with that term. And then, of course, you've got some holdovers, and some of that was already released. Just go back and watch the soft launch video that I did. All right, so I suppose now we should move into Adventure Touring Pan America. It looks like we got the Pan America 1250 Special, the 1250 ST, which we want to talk about, and then the CVO Pan America, which was also in 24.
Yeah, so the Special and the CVO are holdovers from 24. The new bike, never seen before, is this Pan America ST. And it's basically a hopped up street version. You and I were talking earlier and we thought, well, maybe it's the replacement for the Bronx Street Fighter that never came out, but they're definitely going after folks that want a sporty, fast bike, but maybe they're ready to step away from a crotch rocket or something and move into a Harley. So this has got the 1250 Rev Max motor. They've changed the exhaust a little bit. The other ones have what they call mid-chamber. This does not have a mid-chamber in the exhaust systems. It's going to be free-flowing, a little more rumble and lighter weight, of course. It's going to have a quick shifter on it. Street tires, it's got the Michelin Scorchers. It sits lower, 3/4 of an inch lower. Again, more street. And it does have the adaptive ride control, though. The adaptive ride height, I should say.
Which all the Pans have, but that's nice for street, especially for shorter riders.
Absolutely.
Where, if you don't know what that is, basically, when you slow down and stop, it automatically knows. You don't even realize it's happening. I've ridden it, and it just lowers, and you can be flat-footed, and then as soon as you take off or anything, it raises up. So that's really nice.
And continuing to make it a little more street version, the seat is a 1/2 inch lower, gets you a little lower down on the bike. They reduced the profile, the width of the Pan America ST. They did that by getting rid of the brush guards. Those are gone. They also reduced the size of the radiator shroud. It's slimmer, and it's got a shorter windshield that's not height adjustable. So a little street version of it.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah. I'd strongly suggest checking it out.
Well, just closing out the adventure touring lineup. We talked about the ST. There's still the Special and the CVO. The CVO's got all the bells and whistles on it. It comes with all the brush guards, all the protectors, the paint and all that kind of stuff. It also comes with luggage and whatnot. But then...
You got me at luggage.
And then you got the Special, which is somewhere in between the two. It's a little more dirt versus the ST, which is a little more street. It doesn't have all the bells and whistles as far as luggage and fancy paint and whatnot that the Pan America has.
All right, couple more things. Now, we gave you a lot of information, what we can gather from the website and things like that. I am going to be headed down to Texas in late February for like 4 days, and I will be test riding and reviewing whatever they have on hand for us. And of course, videos after will be popping on the channel to give you a much more thorough, detailed breakdown, and of course, my opinions on those bikes. So again, make sure you subscribe, hit that bell icon so you're notified when I pop new videos. So Lurch, I'm curious about your thoughts of kind of a summary of where we are in 25 here with Harley.
Yeah, absolutely. There's been a lot of changes in the last few years. You know, you look at the Sportster models a few years ago, got quite a bit of change, Rev Max motors, whatnot. You got the Grand American touring bikes with the new motor, the new fairing design. It's about time the cruiser segment got some love. So getting that 117 in there, you know, with the different ride modes and the traction control and all that, that's awesome for those bikes. Every year can't be huge, right? I mean, it is what it is. But there were some new stuff this year. You got this ST Pan America, neat. You got the Street Glide Ultra. Still a little confused about that one. Doesn't help me make my decision anymore on what I'm going to get. But it's just one of those years where there's been some changes, and they're for the better, but it's just not one of those big knock you out of your seat years. And you can't do that every year, you know? It seems like these model lines go, you know, 5-10 year cycles, and so, you know, there's been a lot done, and I think we're going to ride the wave a little bit, but there's going to be some tweaking along the way as we go. I'm hopeful that maybe mid-year something cool will come out too.
Yeah,
We'll see.
and these bikes, the 24 and newer, phenomenal. I absolutely am in love with my 24 Street Glide, so if you can swing it, I can say you won't be disappointed. Lurch, what have you made an official decision on what you're going to get?
My official decision at this moment, which could change because you might come back with some more information. I'm lucky to have you to go do those things, and then you and I can talk about it. But at this point, my decision is if I can find a 24 Road Glide and get a good deal on it, I'm getting that. I'll throw the extra stuff on the trunk and whatnot.
You heard it here first. We're holding him to it now. But yeah, I'm
That's the
excited
plan for now. We'll see.
I'm excited for Lurch. I'm always excited because he's been holding out like I did for a long time on
Yeah.
his bike. So
It'll be 10 years on that old one.
we shall see. Peace.
I was the boy with the plan that turned me into a man. And man, I keep winning and winning again. Whoops, I did it again. On business is right where I stand. Never been slipping on sand. And man, I keep winning and winning again. Whoops, I did it again. I was the boy with the plan